This is the Dawn Diaries. Here I share my insides the same I would in an online diary. Now it's time for your dose of Dawn. I'm just going to use my iPad for my notes. I just want to say hello, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome to this episode of my podcast. I have a girl who has been in the cam modeling part of the industry, and she has been sweet enough to have shared with us the insides and outs. It's so interesting because I too have dabbled in the cam modeling, but once again, learning from other girls, you just discover things you would never know unless you talk with them. In an industry such as ours that can be kind of isolating, I have a place to connect, and it's been a pleasure. And for those listening who just have a natural curiosity, or other girls who are out there feeling the same way, isolating themselves and want to learn what other girls are experiencing on a day-to-day, this episode is for you. So please take a listen, and if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave your comments and to subscribe if you want to hear more videos in the future, and to ring the bell for notifications. Thanks for listening.
All right, so you said you're from New York, which is really cool because I'm from New York. And you have been in New York how long?
I've been in here for like 4 years. Yeah, they think I'm in Rhode Island. New York is fine.
Okay, yeah. New York. Okay, New York, Rhode Island. Basically, the East Coast, Misty.
Yeah.
Good to have you here. So first we're going to start with your background with sex work, because this podcast is about, women in sex work. But you have the floor to talk about your experience.
So how I started?
Yeah.
I was really shy originally, and I act and I sing, and I wanted some way to get less shy. And I was like, okay, I'll try camming. Someone recommended it, and that took off more than the acting. I'm like, oh, well. So because I had more freedom doing it. And it got to a point when I was doing it that I was like, why am I waking up at 4 a.m. to get dressed when I can cam on my hours and I can have more freedom? But originally in high school, like when I was in high school, I was like very conservative and the goody-goody. And I remember one day the girls were joking and we're all like going to gym, and someone goes, "You're going to be a porn star." I'm like, no.
Out of nowhere.
And they nominated me all the time. I was likely to be a porn star. I'm like, no, I'm the most conservative. They're like, yeah, that's why. I'm like, what?
Oh, so they played up on that you were.
But I'm going to rebel, yeah.
This opposite. Interesting. So you were shy throughout your entire life, you'd say? Like as a kid, you were shy?
Yeah, I was very conservative and shy. My internet. Very conservative. I was shy to an extent. I grew up Irish Catholic, so I always had to look what I was wearing, cover up, and.
Oh, your parents were conservative.
Yeah.
From the United States?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. What was your first cam appearance like?
I was non-nude, actually.
Okay.
I was non-nude when I started, and it was a complete, it was a disaster. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I don't even want to look at the video or the photos. It was so bad. Like, the first show.
I'm sure it wasn't. Did you change the settings? Because I've done it myself, and I've changed the settings where certain states couldn't find me.
Yeah, that's what I did.
You did that too? Okay. So you were just kind of like nervous, and what part felt like you didn't know what you were doing? Like which part?
Well, I was a nanny right before that, so when I first went on, I was talking to everyone like they were kids, so that had to adjust.
Oh, can you give an example of what that looks like? Like, talk to me like I'm
like really, really bad. I'd be like, "Thank you," or "Who's happy now? What do you want to do now?" I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry."
Oh, like kind of like a host.
Yeah, like come on, who wants to do it? I want to hear more. I'm like,
Oh, so you had that whole voice and everything.
Yeah.
Did anybody prefer that voice over your voice?
No.
Do you remember a long time ago when Paris Hilton changed her voice?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder where she got that idea from. That you sound like this. It's cuter. Or hi guys. She would do
I
like
think
this
it's
very
hard.
baby voice.
Well, yeah, that's what I did in the end. Like I changed it to more little girl, which like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, Daddy, come on, can we please? I'm sorry. Who wants to play? And that sold
Oh, interesting.
more of the
Oh,
cute,
there was an audience for that. Okay.
so not little girl, but more sweet and innocent.
Sweet and innocent.
I think, yeah, innocent, sweet.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. Have you ever been in like a camera with another girl in cam models?
I have, yeah.
Oh, you guys did. You guys collaborated then.
Yes.
How did that go?
Um, I was with a few of them, like most of them went really, really well. We had to communicate to see which thing each person wanted. How did they want to do that? Mm. But I would admit that filming is it's not as sexy as people think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but it's fun. I don't mind doing it, and if you with the right person, you can feed off of them, and it looks awesome. Like I was with Hot for Teachers. I didn't know they were flirting with each other. I was just sitting there and doing what I was supposed to, and it looks so natural. We got it on the first take, and it's like this teacher preying on the little student, and it looks perfect. Like it was so much fun. We communicated before, so we knew what we were doing, and the flow was perfect, and the scene looks perfect. It was so much fun. Depending who you work with, if you're open with them, it's pretty fun. People love the Hot for Teachers, and it was funny when we collaborated, we couldn't figure it out, and she was shy, and she was like, "Why don't we do a teacher thing?" I was like, "That's what I was gonna suggest."
Oh
so
my gosh. Okay.
so yeah, it was perfect because I did schoolgirl, she did teacher, so it worked out.
That's perfect because you're so young looking and it makes sense. Yeah. Do you know what site it is that you use, or do you want to disclose that, or you don't want to disclose that?
I I was on Chatterbait. I'm now going on to my own, but at first I had to figure out like I was making money with things I wasn't comfortable with, and it was a lot of money. But I'm like, my fans are like, don't do it if you don't want to do it. So I had to figure out what I was comfortable with and to make the money at the same time, which is important because you can make the money, but if you're not comfortable, it's not worth it. Like you could see it on my face in the videos. You have to be comfortable with what you're doing because you just kind of stay stagnant. It's like you're not gonna want to do it.
And they can tell too. They can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like one website versus the other? I can't remember the one that I joined, but their customer service was just okay, you know.
I was on MFC. I preferred Chatterbait because it was more relaxed.
Like in what way?
The cam score and the competition on Chatterbait, nobody. We just had fun. Nobody was like,
Oh, okay.
I forget what her name is. I think Kat, the one who won the award. I was competing with her for a top camera, and we were just having fun during that competition. It was probably the most fun night. We're both exhausted. It was in the middle of the night, and we just were like, "Yeah, we can get more people. We can." It was just, we just had fun with it
Oh,
completely. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what you can do, and we had fun. It was just more relaxed environment and very enjoyable.
how did you learn about that site?
Um, I was kicked off of MFC because someone said I looked young. I was like, I need somewhere to go, and I went on to Chatterbait, and people liked me there more. So it was a happy accident.
Well, what happened throughout your first video, I guess? How long were you there? Like 10 minutes, an hour, like all day? Some girls are there all day.
Oh, I couldn't do that. I think I was there maybe an hour.
Did you have a hard time figuring out like what to charge for certain dances? Because when I went on, sometimes the guy would flash their, you know, their privates, and I didn't know you could charge for that. So I was just allowing it to happen until someone else had like a list of what, oh, if you want me to see your dick, it's this much, or flash, or there's a feature where you can do two, like kind of what we're doing, like where it's cameras side by side, and you
Yeah.
can charge for that too. Whereas I was just allowing people to come in because once again, I didn't know what I was doing either until I realized, oh, there's a price for that. I can say to share the camera, pay $5 or something,
I didn't know that at first either. I was very naive a lot of the stuff, and they took advantage of that.
Same.
Um,
That's me. Yeah, same.
it's hard when they do that. I didn't know what to charge. I undercharged. But for me, what I was more comfortable with, I even like, I think it was the second show, like, because I acted and sing, I started doing like stripping and singing. I was like, oh, they like this burlesque, and I liked that. I was like, I don't know, I still like doing it. It's
You had
just,
fun.
yeah.
So what was the setup? Like, you were in an empty room, or were you in your bedroom, or like, how did you set up the camera? Like,
I was in my bedroom with no heat, so I couldn't fully take clothes off. And I was like talking to the people and trying to flirt awkwardly in like a horrible apartment with no heat. And I was just like singing and like completely teasing a Broadway show, making sure nothing falls off because it was cold. They didn't know that was the main reason why. And I didn't want to take anything off. But then I actually learned when I was talking to models, I was the quickest to take clothes off. But I'm like,
oh, how did you meet other models?
oh, when I went to like Exotica,
What is exotica? I don't think I've ever heard of exotica. What is that?
it's a expo for sex models and like toys and
Oh, yes, I have heard of that. And so you introduced yourself and you're like, I do this. Do you as well? Is that what happened?
yeah, we're all talking and like I didn't say anything, and then they're saying like how long they took and this many months, and like, Misty, how much you're innocent. I'm like, this much. They're like, okay, you were the quickest. I'm like, yeah, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. So through time, did you like learn a strategy, how to bank
I
more?
think I had to. Yeah, I learned to see it had to be. There was ways I was making money, but I wasn't happy doing. Don't.
Okay. And do you want to say how old you are and how old people thought you were?
I
You could
don't.
say how old people thought you were. I obviously under 18. They thought you were under 18.
Oh, I had actually at an event. I have had people think I was underage, and it's just a whole. I've had story after story. I had to like. I didn't know there was like an undercover cop. I had to like beat him up and everything because he was undercover. I didn't know he was a real cop, and he was trying to grab me because he thought I was underage and human trafficking. And I can get into that story, but
And when did this happen?
yeah, I was at the booth and I went to the bathroom, and a cop like went to grab me because he's like, "You're human trafficking." He went to the desk. So apparently there was like these people trying to save girls. They didn't know I was actually a cam model, and they kept trying to save me. And then they told the cop he was undercover, so I didn't know. I come from the bathroom. He's like, "I gotta save you." I'm like, "No." He's like, "Do you want me to handcuff you?" And he grabs me, and I elbow him because I don't know if he's a real cop or not. And even if he shows me his badge, you don't know in the convention. And I was able. Somebody told me if you go to the booth, no one can touch you. So I ran somehow in mini heels to the booth, full speed. Everyone saw my ID. I had to like elbow him and push him and run and get away. He almost handcuffed me. And I got back to the booth. He sees my ID, and it was just like,
What a weird misunderstanding.
I know they're concerned, but at the same time, it's like,
Did you ever find out if he was a real policeman? You did.
he was. So I beat up a real policeman.
Huh. And they just go there like as a place to find trafficked women.
Well, yeah, it's Human Trafficking Week, the week of AVN. So that's always interesting with me.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
But there's always that hard part of looking young and finding the balance.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wish I could say I had that problem. Dang. Okay. Well, good to know that that is a possibility. Is there anything else you'd like to share about the expo? Like why you
Oh,
go? What motivated you to go? And
well, I was acting before that, and I like to network with people. And I also love being at events and meeting the fans. That's just who I am. And because I'm short, I usually sit on the table, and Chatterbait's fine with that because they can't see me. Chatterbait has these high spinny chairs, so I'd have to sit on the table. But I loved it. I loved meeting the fans and doing the autographs and networking and meeting different people that were going to work with me. And it's just a whole big group of girls getting together and networking and from party to party and just fun.
Oh, so you're very social. Cool. All right. So it sounds like you are still cam modeling, right?
Yeah, I'm figuring everything out. I was on Chatterbait. Now I do like Skypes and OnlyFans and Fan Central, a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, OnlyFans is also something that really popped up. How long has your career been? Like just a couple years or?
It's been a couple years, but it's gone more into like it evolved from cam model to like I kind of liked the daddy aspect of it really with I think it turned more into it was cam, but then it was like I really like that aspect and it's hard for a lot of people to do. And I liked
What do
just
you
the
mean?
tone
What do
on
you
it.
mean by daddy aspect? Sorry, I'm not following.
Not so much sugar daddy, but I was at towards a lot of the cam, I was a daddy's girl and I liked it a lot.
Is that like one of the like personas you can be? Is that what you're saying?
It's a persona. I had other options, and then I had people wanting me to do that, which I've kept going on. But I've had to find myself doing that because you can't be too submissive. You have to be in the middle. And I enjoyed it a lot. Like, who wouldn't enjoy it? Like, depending on the guy, I learned some of them were too dominant. But I love just like, okay, they want to take care of me. I'd send them a video, depending what they wanted. I was just and now that I look back on it, it was so much fun. I just had to a lot of times I was just this cute little girl that they wanted to take care of, and a lot of times I'm like, take care of myself. I'm like, wait, no, they want to take care of me. Let me like, let's have fun with this, and I did. I kind of embellished it, but I loved it. It was just, it became part of me, and now it's like, I think it is me because I try to do different things and I can't. I liked it too much.
So this is kind of like what you stick to. It's
Yeah.
not those type of men that are like, oh, I want to be your sugar daddy.
Yeah, but depending how they want it, some want to be dominant, and it depends how controlling, because some of them wanted to control me.
So certain, very specific, certain type of personality that you are comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go back into the questions that I had prepared here. I would like to ask you what you think the most common myth out there is about sex work. Or you can say what you think the most common myth out there is about cam modeling. It's up to you which one you like, or you could talk about both.
For cam modeling, I think that we're forced into it when we're not. Majority of the women aren't. There's probably a small percentage, but
Oh, you think that's false? That
yeah,
there's a lot of women that were forced into cam modeling?
yeah. I think it's a small percentage where like a lot of the women, because they get freedom, they do what they
Right.
want, and
They do what they want. Yeah. This is based on the research you've done about statistics, you mean, or just because you met so many girls who are like, no, I wanted to do this.
yeah, I've met girls and talked to girls. At least in the U.S., everyone was wanting to do it.
Everyone that you've met is made
Yeah,
a personal choice about I want to do this. Okay, cool. Do you think they were ever forced by like economic circumstance?
I think so. Yeah, but in the end, it's still our choice.
So
Even if we're economically tight, it's still our choice if we do it.
if you do it right, okay. Well, that's good. So that is that the biggest myth you also think about sex work in general?
I think part of it, and I think from where I am, a lot of it is like they want to save me from it, which I was like, I got annoyed, but now I kind of use that to my leverage. But they think that like the younger ones need saving, and which I don't say too much, but it got annoying, but it's what it is. It's a good thing that they care about the girls, but I think it's a misconception too.
That we need saving. Yeah. Yeah, because it's kind of a line of work anyways. So, so say from what, like our independence, like what is it? Yeah. What is that we need saving from? But have
I
you ever
don't
been
know.
curious about other sex work? If this is the only like venture you've ever done?
Porn I looked into, I don't think I could ever do it. I got lost in a porn room, supposed to be there for 5 minutes, was there in for an hour because everyone was like, "Do you want to do a hard gangbang?" I'm like, "No, that I never would want to do." I don't know. I never looked into the other stuff because I'm too shy and I'm small, so I was always afraid if I was in person I'd be hurt.
That's definitely a concern. I would be the same way. If I was small, I would be worried about someone dominating me physically or hurting me. Yeah. So I definitely understand that.
What were you saying?
No, I was just curious about the shyness because you're not shy on camera, but you're shy in person.
Yes.
Do you have any positive memories that you could take away from working in the adult industry?
I think there's several different positive memories, like with the girls supporting each other and bringing each other up. And I remember one moment, I think I don't know exactly what Mary said, but she was like, because I was had a lot of guys who were controlling on cam and I didn't like it. And she's like, well, if you put rules up, you're not losing anyone. The people who care about you are going to be there. I think she might have said like more crude way of saying it, but I was like, that's a good point. And a lot of it for me too was when I started, I always was with somebody who hurt me, a guy when I dated. And I realized in general during that, I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to be with someone who's controlling. I didn't have to sit there and please them. I think that was the Irish Catholic in me that did that.
Oh, these are guys you dated?
Were very controlling, and the camera made me realize I don't have to be with those guys anymore.
Oh, so these were relationships that you depended on them financially, you mean?
No, I didn't even depend on them. I like before Cam with like I always dated guys who treated me, misused me, like financially took advantage of me. And I thought I had to sit there and always make people happy. And I realized with Cam, I don't have to. And I can say no. And the girls were telling me to speak up and say no. Alexa Cole was saying that you need to do that as well. And I realized, and from now on, I don't ever want to be with those types of guys again. I've had it where like they left me with no money. I've had it where really bad situations. And I realized I don't have to do that. I don't have to be the one doing all the work in the relationship. And there's guys who actually want to be there for you.
Like your clients, basically.
Yeah.
But what about the clients that you also mentioned were controlling? How do you maneuver that?
I give them warnings and then I'm too easy and that's what I've learned. I have to be. I'd give people too many chances and then I get upset. So now I give them like I let them know and now I don't have an issue saying no to people before I did. Now I can be like, no.
So
She's
they
really
just have a lot of like requests, like they just shout what they want kind of thing. And it comes off as controlling.
yeah, and even off. It was so bad. Like I could even take pictures with guys for some of the fans and they're like, why are you doing that? You're cheating on me. And I'm like, it
Oh, so
was
there's
really
like
bad.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and they'd put me down and everything, and I used to have issues even saying no to that, and now I can be like, "No, bye." I used to wanna make
Yeah. Good.
everyone happy, and now I don't.
Good for you. Yeah, that's definitely a lesson a lot of us can relate to. We already went to the positive memory, but can you reiterate? Because I don't think I got all that. What was the positive? Just that you don't have to be in relationships because there's other men out there
Yeah.
that support you.
Yeah, there's other men that showed me, like, I don't have to be with those guys, I can choose guys that actually care and listen, and I don't have to do that anymore, and I realized, like, there was a point where I lost myself, and then I found myself, but don't have to deal with those kind of guys anymore. And if it hadn't been in the adult industry, I would have never realized that.
That there was those kinds of guys out there.
Yeah, I would have had to keep pleasing people and covering up and doing what people wanted. And now, no, I can say no. And
These are guys that don't know where you are geographically, right? And you probably don't know where
yes,
they are.
I know where some of them are.
Okay, so this is not someone that you'd ever run into in real life. I would think.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you feel like lacks because of the fact that they're not, um, like necessarily real relationships or real connections? Because it is over like long distance, and you know what people say about long distance. And do you ever wonder about the blurriness of that?
You don't really know the person, like who they really are. And I've opened their cam so I know who they are, but it's just like you never get to see them in person, or when you do that at the events you get to. So that's a really good part of it. But it's like, in a way, it's bad because you don't see them in person and you don't get to physically give them a hug. But it's good because you get to build the connection up.
Are you ever surprised when you're like, oh, you've seen me, and oh, you've seen me? Like, it surprises you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I'm like, wait,
What part
you're who? What's your name?
what part surprises you the
What
most?
they look like, because you hear their voice, you never really see them.
But what about what they look like? They're like older than you thought, or they're more closer to age than you thought?
Yeah, a lot of times the ages don't match up in my head. They're a lot different than I thought they would be. Um, they were just not what I thought. Some of them were actually more caring than I thought. Some of them were more creepy than I thought.
Ah, yeah, yeah. And this is just going by first impressions?
Yeah, and then they hang by the booth and they want to help you. And depending which ones I know, they can help me. Some can't help me. And
Oh, like help you what was set up? And
or they'll take my bags when I'm leaving the event, help me to where I need to go. And just in the convention, I don't ever leave.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it sounds like some kind of connection. It may not be like, someone that you'll see all the time, but they know you exist, they know you from this platform, and there is some, not a friendship, but there's something that he obviously likes you enough to like help you with your bags or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever share this with the other girls? Like, oh, there's a guy that I particularly like, or anything
Yeah,
like
we
that?
do that. We do. We all talk to them. We're like, that one's creepy. Beware.
Oh, some of
Like
them know the same guy.
yeah, and we're like, that one's creepy. Or there'll be one guy giving everyone money except me, and the mom's like, or they'll do that to another one. And depending majority of the models, we make sure we're all okay, and we let them know who the creepy guys are. And I like Chatterbait because the guys at the booth will make sure the girls are okay. So it's like extra security. Well, for me at least, but um, not everyone has that. But yeah, a lot of us share the same guy, and we're all helping each other. A lot of us don't share the same guy, but some of us do, and it's actually cool when we share the same guy because we end up talking about each other and we don't realize. So
Oh, okay. Okay. Why do they just hand out money like that? Is it just because of tipping is a possibility
yeah,
there, or also you guys have like jars or something like that, or
yeah, on the table. I usually wear a bra. I'm like, okay, tip here, put in my panties.
oh, like what do you mean panties? Like you mean like that you
Like
lay
I'll
out?
wear, yeah, I'll get like tight mini shorts. I'm like, yep, you can stick them in my pants or whatever, the top.
Oh gosh, God, you pick up all kinds of stuff there, don't you? Like, this is stuff I would never know about if it wasn't for this interview. Like, there's no way I'd know any of this stuff. Like, I mean, I've heard of expos and stuff, but this sounds very specific to what you do, right?
Yeah, it is, and that's the fun part because I forgot one time I had them in my bra and I took them off to go to bed. I'm like, oh, there's some money because I forget they're in my bra and my panties. But yeah, they'll put them in, and I'll make sure they do it correctly and everything where they put them in. And
Oh man, that's crazy.
sometimes they'll give me enough for dinner in a tip. But
Oh, just one tip alone.
Yeah.
What about by the end of the expo day? Like, do you feel like you made like a week's worth of pay or like a day's worth of pay from like a regular job or from like, do you bank out? You're
Um,
like, wow, I made so much just from this expo or
I think it depends, like, exotica, it depends how you do it, depends on the noise level. Certain days, you can't hear anything with the cam and everything. But I think certain days you make okay, but it's more about networking at those events, so I'm more focused on, like, signing autographs and doing things on cam and
oh, so there's cameras set up there.
webcams on our laptop. The connection's not great, so sometimes we can't cam,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
and we have to wait, and certain days we can.
Oh, okay. All right. We talked about the positive memory. Let's hear about the biggest lesson that you wanted, that you think that you learned from just being in the biz.
I think it goes back to the dating. I'm learning that I can say no and to value myself.
Yeah. So you have, so you've learned about boundaries.
Oh yeah, big time.
If someone didn't know what boundaries were, do you think you could summarize what it means to you to have boundaries?
It's knowing, letting people know what I'm comfortable with, setting them, and when you need to walk away, you can say that, and saying no in a comfortable way, speaking up if someone's gonna hurt me too, and knowing when to do that, and knowing when to ask for help.
Yes. Yeah. But the majority of the time you do work alone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's very important for like someone who's learning about this, that if you're alone, it's you have to know what your personal limits are
Yeah.
and communicate that effectively, right?
You have to put up with what you want to do. Don't do everything you don't want to do. Don't be unhappy. Choose what they want to see and what you want to do.
Yeah, because there's a lot of different requests and you'd be surprised what you actually are cool with, and you learn that they're okay with, you know, with what you can't do as well. You always think that they're not going to be okay with it. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. So who inspires you and why?
Um, I think just when I started out seeing the girls supporting each other, that inspired me. And I don't think, honestly, now I think about it, not one person inspires me. It's different situations. It was the whole experience. I do think Ginger Banks was a good person because she was always speaking up for the girls and what she believed in. But I really pin it on just seeing day to day things that inspire me more than one big thing.
So is it not a particular person then?
No, I don't think so.
So you don't have any role models, real or imagined, or superheroes on film or anything like that of someone specifically that inspires you?
Mm,
No.
no.
What about getting like day to day? Like what motivates you day from day to day? Like when you wake up in the morning, what is the thing that gets you excited and and ready for the day?
It's the stupidest, silliest things. Like when I had deaths during COVID, it was my kitten was motivating me. It's just literally the simplest little, like when they say, "How are you doing?" or they send money, that's always motivating. When they send a random gift card. And simple things like getting the right coffee, and those things make me happy.
Can you communicate what exactly about money that you love getting for certain reasons, like maybe your freedom or whatever it is? Like,
I
what is
think,
it about money that you
yeah,
like?
I think getting the freedom, it's like, oh, because I'm gluten free. So I'm like, yay, I can get something that's like tastes good that's gluten free. And you can, it's an extra little freedom. It's an extra something I can do with it and put it towards the goals I want to do for cam and adult industry.
Can you share those goals for us?
One was the podcast, then one was OnlyFans, and I've been wanting to venture into sugar daddy, and I'm still like figuring out, but I think I want to do there was a time I wanted to leave. I'm like, no, I don't want to leave. I wanted to do more camming. I wanted to do the podcast. I wanted to do Fan Central, and I want to tie it all together in a website where they all can go and have fun and get to know me on a different personal level, and it's more personalized. And I can do more things with because I had lots of boundaries, so now I can have the freedom and give them what they had wanted and go that way instead of on a campsite. Go to do my own campsite and my own podcasts and OnlyFans.
Oh, so you have those goals, and you're healthy. It sounds like you're very healthy, gluten free. You care about your nutrition a lot. Do you have other values? Obviously, health is a big one. Or you can go into like why health is a very big value for you and share any other values you have. That would be cool to know.
Health was because I have celiac, so I've had to make myself healthy, and I don't like. They put me on so many medications, and I was like, oh, I didn't like the side effects, and it was just horrible. And I found everything by diet essentially, and what I can eat, and healing yourself naturally. It was just so much better without side effects. Even migraines. One of the side effects for migraine preventative is like purple rashes. I'm like, I don't want that.
Oh, and you had those or what?
Yeah, I have those, but I prefer hemp because I was like, yeah, I'd rather hemp than rashes and like feeling dizzy. And so hemp has worked better for me.
Oh, so
But
would you say you're medication free now? Like no meds anymore?
yeah, I just have supplements. I'm pretty medication free, except with ADHD. If I'm under stress, I know to take it if I need it.
Okay, so you still
Make
have
it
to
work.
take some for ADHD.
Yeah, but it's more as needed.
Gotcha. Okay. And that's a big step for you from the past, like before you were on other kinds of
I,
medication.
oh,
For what?
all
For
other
what?
kinds
What
of
kinds of things? Like depression or something?
Yeah, the doctor never told me I was just low magnesium. I'm like, seriously? You could have told me that. I could
Oh,
have. Yeah, deficiencies. Instead, she gave me medicine for moods, and all it was I was like low and deficient because of celiac and B vitamins and magnesium, and it's unlike night and day. Then I
how did
just
you learn that that was the reason? If the doctor didn't give you specific.
I got my medical documents like 5 years later, and I found out she never told me what I had.
Oh, huh. Okay.
So, and I've healed it all naturally, and I've done a lot of things. I've learned there's so much chemicals and everything, and just you have to take care of yourself. It's better to prevent things than it is to take a medication. I'd rather prevent it than just like, here, take a medication, take this, take that.
Yeah, I could not agree more. There are no quick fixes. You're gonna pay one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with that. All right, cool. So we learned about what inspires you. It sounds like you really care about your health, which is good. Um, did you mention any other passions you have? I know you care about
Uh,
your job. Well, who doesn't? Your
I
cat.
have, yeah, I fostered kittens. I
Oh, that's
also
right.
just
You
like,
said you're at the vet yesterday. I wonder what
this
that
was,
was all about.
she's fine. They gave her medication, but him, for an infection, he went because he had like a rash, and they're like, he's handsome. I want to take him home. So
How many do
after
you
my cat
have?
had died of cancer, I have four, and then the mother cat of the kitten is a foster, so she's not permanent. But yeah, him like I've been everything I hear. I'm so happy because the other one died of cancer. So he's so healthy. People wanted to take him home and everything.
We're almost wrapping up, which is good because it was pretty much like a rough start, but we got a lot of material here. The only thing I have left to ask you is I always ask my guests what their either ideal woman looks like, their ideal man, or what an ideal society is to them. And today I will ask you what is your idea of an ideal
I'm still figuring it out, but I know it's someone who treats me equally, I've realized, and it's still evolving. I don't exactly know what it is. I know it would be someone who treats me equal, takes care of themselves, and always wants to learn, but I don't know, like, it's still, I don't think I'll know until I find them. That sounds weird.
No, I think that's sweet, but what is it that it confuses you when you think about that question?
Because I was always taught it was like one thing, and then I'm like now learning that it's not what I wanted, and I'm still figuring out what I want exactly.
What was it that you were taught that you know now that you don't agree with?
It was taught like Irish Catholic, like everyone settles down, you must find this, and then like find someone to get married and do this and that. And I wanted someone to be the equal, not someone to like order me around, which is never going to work because I'm a fire sign. But
Yeah, you said you're Aries, right?
yeah, yeah, they
That
think
does
I'm a
not work for Aries.
no, they think I'm a Sagittarius, but yeah. So yeah, so that's just part of it. Like I just want someone to treat me equally, and I was always taught in my house to be the one doing everything, and now I know I don't want that. I want someone who will be there for me as well, and I'll be there for them.
In this model of ideal of a man or perfected man, quote unquote, no one's perfect, but the point is, it's like just communicating, I guess, standards or like an ideal society. What would that person look like to you? And it doesn't even have to be the ideal man for you, just an ideal man, you know, uh, in the world.
Um,
Like
I think some
qualities,
physical qualities.
whatever you think.
I think someone who looks like they take care of themselves, and acts nice at the same time. Because there's some guys who look good but are complete assholes. Um, Lots of them.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. So someone
but
who's not an asshole and takes care of his body or
yeah,
his mind
everything.
or everything.
Body and his mind. I want someone who wants to learn too at the same time, not just be like telling me everything I want to hear. And I want like them to be open minded and learn, and because people always say you should be with a doctor. I'm like, but I don't agree with conventional health, so that would never work.
Oh my god, I think I've said the same thing. I think I've said the same thing. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Okay, so that's funny. I think I lost my train of thought just based on that. Made me laugh so much. But yeah. So but it was so good to talk to you and get to know you. I feel like I know you so much on a deeper level. And I've learned a lot about cam models, which is cool because a lot of people out there probably don't know anything about it, just like I didn't know anything about it. The last thing, it just to see like where people can find you if you want to be found. Your social media,
Yeah.
anything else, if you have prospective clients from even cam modeling, if you want them to search you in that way, like this is your time to shout yourself out.
My Twitter is Misty Blonde Baby. Now I look back, I don't know why I did that. I had to keep redoing my Instagram, keep getting banned. So my new Instagram, which I made a business, so now no one can do anything. It's Misty Kitten 1234 because everything else was taken. And I have OnlyFans, which is Misty Kitten 12, and Fan Central would be Misty Kitten. So I kept everything Misty Kitten.
So you have twitter.com/Misty Blonde Baby. You have Instagram at Misty Kittens or Kitten.
Misty Kitten in
Okay, so
1234.
Instagram at Misty Kitten 1234 and then onlyfans.com/Misty Kitten 12.
And then Snapchat Misty Kitten 12. I kept everything the same.
The same. Okay,
The
cool.
majority of everything.
All right. So that has come to the end of the podcast. I'm going to stop recording. This is the end of the episode, and I'm glad you made it all the way here. Any website that I mentioned will be linked down below. Also, I have a Patreon page, which I will include episodes earlier. We're talking a few days to a day early. And if you want to sign up for membership, it'll just be a cool way to get ahead of the
episodes that I'll be sharing with everyone. It'd be nice for members to join for, their own contribution and their continued support, meanwhile getting the earliest possible content. Reminder again to subscribe and to ring the bell for notifications. Thank you very much.